as a poet and storyteller, as the poet of the human experience, Poetry Volume 1, available on Amazon. Go buy it, comment, follow, let me know what you think. I get on here with my daily writing talks. I talk about poetry, I talk about medieval fantasy, I talk about storytelling, I talk about my novels that I'm working on, I talk about my poetry volume, so I reference that's out on Amazon. I talk about it all. I want y'all to comment, let me know what you think. It's just what I'm here for. It's part of what this page is for. Look at that. And so today I wanted to talk about my journey with writing and storytelling and poetry and where it started. I was 16 years old when I really got into it. I had an English teacher in high school, junior year, who we read a lot of Ernest Hemingway. We read Romeo and Juliet. We read a lot of different diverse types of short stories and poetries. That we read she did a good job of giving us a diverse selection of different authors and poets to work from and learn from. And she kind of kickstarted it for me, where I started to see storytelling as this kind of amazing art form, how it developed orally first. There were oral traditions of storytelling, and only in the last 100 years have we really started to get into perfecting the art of telling a story. You have the hero's journey that eventually came along. You have all these different things, and and it does go back. It goes back to Homer and the Iliad and the Odyssey, and there's that's more oral history to begin with. Someone eventually wrote it down and translated and all that stuff. But I started to love it when I was 16. And like I said, Ernest Hemingway was where it kind of started. I started trying to write short stories. And then poetry was right there with it. I loved poetry. I don't love structured poetry. I don't love haikus and sonnets. I don't write like that. I write my own poems. I write my own structures and styles and themes. Because I think that's one reason poetry is not as successful, because it's viewed as you have to write in these rigid formats. And I think we need to get away from that, and people need to understand that poetry is as simple or complex as you want it. It's about, in my opinion, your human emotions, the things you're going through, figuring out a way to translate that onto paper for other people to relate to, which is similar to stories as well. So I fell in love with all of this at 16. And that love's only deepened now that I'm 29. I'm finally starting to work on my novels. I really wanted to put work in to become a better descriptive writer, to understand how I want to structure dialogue, how I want to write characters, how I want to create characters, how I want to develop them in association with the story. That all started at 16. It's, I think I've gotten a lot better. That's why I'm starting this page now, starting these channels and these different social media platforms to promote myself. And yeah. So really, that's the journey. It's where I'm at right now. Like I said, started at 16, fell in love with Ernest Hemingway's short stories, fell in love with Romeo and Juliet, fell in love with Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou. Always loved medieval fantasy and supernatural stories. So that's where it kind of all started. That's why I have, a zombie apocalypse story. Love that. And it all started at 16 for me. That's where it's at. I don't know. I thought I had more. I do have more, but I'm really trying to remember what the fuck the original premise of this video was, other than when I started. There was so much I wanted to get to, but I guess that's why I'm going to keep posting. I'll try to post more often to cover more of these topics. Appreciate you guys. Hope you made it to the end. Like I said, follow along. Go buy my poetry book, The Human Experience. Poetry Volume 1. Bloop. Got to show her off. She's part of the page too. Yeah. So now you know a little more about when I started, where I came from. Last thing I'll say is poetry was kind of what I've worked the hardest on in these last 13 years while I've been developing my craft, so I want to tell the stories I have to tell in the best way possible. So That's why I promote my poetry so much, because it's what I've worked the hardest on so far. It's what I wouldn't say enjoy the most, but it's what I comes natural, like easiest and most natural to me to produce. So check it out, please, and comment. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to make a video on anything specific. And I appreciate you guys.